If you want cheap Microsoft points and game codes, check out g2a.com. Link is in the description below.
Hey guys, it's Melvin7 here, and today I'm bringing you my BPL predictions versus the Mystery C. I believe this is game week 32, is it? Yes, it is. So anyway, last week I caught up some considerable points. It's currently 119 to me and 129 to the Mystery C. I predicted 3 scores completely correct. I think it was the Chelsea score, I said 2-1, the Swansea score, I said 3-1, and I said Manchester City would lose to Crystal Palace 2-1, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I've caught up. Hopefully I can overtake him by the end of this series and win, but we'll see what happens. So into the first game, we've got Swansea versus Everton. Both of these teams got great results. Everton beat Southampton 1-0 at home. It wasn't their most aspiring performance, but they still did it. And Swansea, comfortable win against, I think Hull finished on 10 men. 3-1 against Hull. So they were both at home for this. Swansea are the home team, and for that I think they're going to get the slight edge. Everton seem to be, kind of regaining a little bit of form at the minute, but personally I think Swansea will have a little bit too much. Since they're so bony to Manchester City, they've picked up more points in the league than Manchester City have, which is incredible, to be honest. So I'm going to say Swansea are going to edge this. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to say Swansea 2-1 win. In the next game, we've got Southampton up against Hull. Southampton lost 1-0 to Everton, but they did play very, very well, and I think Pele was denied by a ridiculous Tim Howard save, if I remember correctly. Hull lost 3-1 to Swansea. This is weird because these are the teams that played each other last week. But anyway, Southampton versus Hull. I think Southampton will get a couple of goals against Hull. Hull seem to be, they seem to be unpredictable recently. But anyway, I'm going to say 2-1 Southampton. I think it's going to be another close game, and I think Southampton will just edge it, in my opinion. In the next game, we've got Spurs against Aston Villa. This could be a very entertaining game. Aston Villa got beat 3-1 by us. They weren't too bad, but they did try and play on the counter-attack a little bit, and they didn't count on Daley Blind being able to stop the pace of Gabby Agbonlahor. But Spurs, on the other hand, they got an unconvincing 0-0 draw against Burnley away. I mean, that's better than what City did, in all fairness, so, there's something in that, but it was a really dull, boring game, not a lot to say. So Spurs will be looking to bounce back. Now they're level on points with Liverpool. For that reason, I think they're going to edge this. I'm going to say it's going to be 3-1, similar to the United game. I think Harry Kane will get back on the score sheet and he'll become the BPL top scorer. But yeah, 3-1 is my prediction for Spurs to win. In the next game, we've got Sunderland up against Palace. Now, this is going to be a very interesting game. Sunderland will be so high in confidence now they've just beat their local rivals with an insane Jermaine Defoe strike, probably goal of the week, and there's been some ridiculous goals this week just because of the calibre of the goal, the volley, the technique, and also the stadium. It was a massive derby. So yeah, in my opinion, that was the best one. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, they won 2-1 against Manchester City, so confidence is going to be booming there. So Sunderland are in a relegation scrap. Crystal Palace, thanks to Alan Pardew, are not. So, it's going to be a weird one. I think this is going to be very even. It could go either way, but I'm going to say it's going to end in a 1-1 draw, which would probably suit Palace more than it would Sunderland. Sunderland need at least a point from this, so if not the win. But I'm going to say it's 1-1. I think it's going to be a close game. In the next game, we've got West Brom going up against Leicester. Both of these teams need the points. West Brom got destroyed by QPR 4-1 in the last game, whereas Leicester beat West Ham 2-1. And that was like a dramatic, ridiculous, lucky goal, but for once Leicester got lucky. Throughout the season they've been unlucky, and they got some luck and they got some points. They desperately need points. West Brom do as well. They're in the relegation scrap, and because of how unconvincing West Brom were in the last game, I'm going to have to say Leicester are going to pip this. I reckon it's going to be another 2-1 result, and I think Leicester will win this one. In the next game, we've got West Ham against Stoke. Evenly matched teams, in my opinion. West Ham losing 2-1, unluckily, to Leicester, as I say. And Stoke, on the other hand, got beat 2-1 against Chelsea. But obviously, Charlie Adams scored from 66 yards out. That was a ridiculous lob. And yeah, I still think Defoe's strike is a little bit better. But aside from that, evenly matched teams, I think it's going to be an entertaining draw, personally. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. Can't really split them too much. In the next game, we've got Burnley up against Arsenal. This is going to be a very interesting game. Burnley beating Manchester City, drawing against Spurs. Arsenal hammering Liverpool into the ground 4-1. Destruction, 4 really, really nice goals. So confidence is going to be booming at Arsenal. I reckon they are going to win, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Burnley have proved that they're not an easy team to beat, especially at home. We drew 0-0 with them at Turf Moor, so they're no easy threat. And they're no easy team to beat at home. So for that reason, I'm going to say Arsenal are going to win, but I think it's going to be 2-1 to Arsenal. I could see Burnley getting a point, but Arsenal's confidence will be booming, and they'll be determined to cement that second place finish and hope that the Manchester derby ends in a draw. Anyway, in the next game, we've got QPR up against Chelsea. QPR getting their biggest win, I think, of the season, 4-1 away, which is crazy. 4 goals away for QPR. Is definitely a new record this season for them anyway. Chelsea beating Stoke narrowly 2-1. Chelsea seem to be doing this. They seem to be crawling towards the finish line. They're getting the points, but they're not looking convincing. Everyone apart from Hazard seems to, have already given in really. They think the title's already won. I don't know if it's a mentality problem. I don't know. But Hazard seems to be the only one that's really got the determination. Remy, coming off from not playing in God knows how long, scored, and I think he scored in every single game he's played. So maybe, since Costa's injured, this could be an ideal opportunity for Remy to really push for a first team finish. For a first team place before the transfer market happens, obviously. QPR, I can't see them getting any points at Chelsea personally. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to say 3-1 Chelsea. I think it'll be one of these games that'll be really close, and then Chelsea will, show their excellence basically and score a couple of quick fire goals, and that'll be enough to beat QPR. So I'm going to say 3-1 Chelsea. I'm going to leave the next game until last because it's the Manchester derby, so we'll go on to Liverpool versus Newcastle. Now, Liverpool getting hammered 4-1 by Arsenal, getting beat 2-1 at Anfield by Manchester United. Things aren't looking good. Sterling looks as though he's going to leave. Henderson has apparently rejected a contract. It's all turmoil at that club at the minute. Obviously, Gerrard's going at the end of the season, so confidence can't be high. Newcastle, on the other hand, probably have their lowest confidence in a good couple of seasons, and they have a chance of getting relegated. It's probably not going to happen. They only need to pick up about 4 points. But going off their current performances, I don't even know if they're going to do that, especially with the injury problems they've got in centre-back. So this is at Anfield. I really hope Newcastle do one of these things where everyone writes them off and then they come and perform, because they do that regularly throughout the last 5 seasons. As soon as you think Newcastle are dead and buried, they'll come and get a result. So I hope it's against Liverpool, but I'm going to have to be real here. I'm going to have to say, based on form, Liverpool are going to win 2-0 in my opinion. I think it'll be a fairly comfortable result. Might regain some confidence at Anfield. And next, and finally, we've got the Manchester derby. This is huge, alright? And as a Manchester United fan, this is the first time in 2 years that I have felt fully confident that we can beat Manchester City. I reckon we've got a better team at the minute in terms of form and in terms of how the players are performing. Really, Aguero hasn't scored in 500 minutes, but obviously he's world class, so he could change games in a second. David Silva, if he's played down the middle, he's a big threat. If he's played on the left, like he was against Crystal Palace, I don't think he's that much of a threat. Company seems to be unravelling this season, not sure what's up with him, and it looks as though he's injured. And Toure is another player that hasn't been amazing this season, but has that touch of class that can perform. The rest of the team, I'm not really worried about. Hart can have a good game sometimes. Of course they've got quality, alright, I'm not denying that, but based on recent form, I reckon we've got every chance of winning. I mean, I think we've beat 5 teams in a row now. I think, was it Newcastle, Sunderland, Spurs, Liverpool, and then Aston Villa. Obviously Spurs and Liverpool being the big 2, where we proved some doubters wrong. We're now 8 points above the drop. We're now above 5th place, and we're now ahead of Manchester City, which is the first time in like 500 days. And when Paul Merson, of all people, predicts a Manchester United win, you know that favourites have shifted, and we are the favourites now. That being said, it's a dangerous position to be in when you're favourites, because you could, get a little bit complacent, but I don't think that's going to happen. I reckon we're going to hold our own against City. We're going to prove a point. We're going to beat them. We're going to go 4 points ahead of them. I'm going to say 3-1 United. I think Wayne Rooney will deliver another captain's speech, whatever he did that Fellaini said he did just before the Liverpool and Spurs game. I think he'll do one of those. The players are on form, City on, so I'm going to say a Manchester United win 3-1. So we'll compare my results with the Mystery C's.
Alright guys, this is the most similar results we've ever had, I think. Literally, the Swansea Everton one, we think, I know I've spelled Everton wrong, I do apologise, but yeah, I've said Everton or whatever, but yeah, that's just a typo. Anyway, we both said 2-1. Southampton versus Hull, he said 3-1 win, whereas I said 2-1 win for Southampton. Spurs Villa, we both think Spurs will win 3-1. Sunderland Palace, he thinks Palace will edge it 2-1, whereas I say 1-1. Leicester, we both think will win 2-1 against West Brom. West Ham Stoke, we both think it'll be 2-2. Burnley Arsenal, he says Arsenal will win 2-0, whereas I say 2-1. QPR Chelsea, we both think Chelsea will win 3-1. Man United versus Man City, he thinks we'll win 3-2, whereas I say 3-1. And Liverpool Newcastle, we both think Liverpool will beat Newcastle 2-0. So I'm not going to gain many points on the Mystery C this week, I don't think. But as long as I gain 1 or 2, I'm not too bothered. But yeah, let me know your predictions, let me know what you think of mine, and yeah, peace.